Well, this is going to get me in trouble. So, if you're just here, I went offline for a few minutes. If you're not, I'm Shep. Um, I do manga reviews, and for this stream, I'm gonna review stream slash review slash video. I'm gonna do something a little bit different. It's not technically manga, because it's Western. Although you could call it OEL manga, as in, which means original English language manga, which would include something like Mega Tokyo, even though Mega Tokyo is also a webcomic. You could also call it a doujin, because doujins are fan made works that hook into an existing property, and this certainly does. Even though most doujins are porn, this is not porn. Far from it. Um, or you can just say it's poli- political parody. So, what am I talking about? Well, I'm going to need another hat for this. Uh, if you read katakana, you can probably know where this is going. And this, so before I fully reveal this, what I'm reviewing today, I got the hat with the comic because I got it off Indiegogo. Before we get fully into it, I enjoyed it. So if you're interested from this review, go check it out. It's going to be available on Antarctic Press. So from Antarctic Press, I mean. So, what is it I'm actually talking about? Why am I wearing this hat? This suspiciously red hat with I cannot speak today. Suspiciously white lettering. Well, because the parody comic I'm reviewing is called Wall Might. First term part 2. I think the light's not getting it, but if you can see, that's that person on the cover is main character on the character is Wall Might, who is both Donald Trump and All Might from My Hero Academia. So Wall Might, it's Wall Might First Time Part 2. It's a sequel to My Hero Magademia. Ha! Wall Might, the first term. So, what is this? My Hero Macadamia, just to give a little bit of background, My Hero Macadamia was a hilarious comic that mocked everything and anything political. Of course, it had a right wing bent, but no one, everything it touched was made fun of. But it also took pot shots at the Western comics industry, because it kind of grew out of Comicsgate, even though it was disavowed because Comicsgate at that time was pretending to be apolitical. When I first read My Hero Macadamia, every page and every panel of that comic, I was both shocked and amused, and at least once or twice a page I asked, are they actually doing this? Because I couldn't believe someone would publish this, but it was also freaking awesome. Um, However, in comparison, the writing and humor in Wall Might First Term Part 2 feels kind of phoned in and predictable. This doesn't mean it's not good. I will always be amused by Brett Kavanaugh throwing beer kegs and hitting burning Sanders, the villain, with Thor's hammer. It's still a wonderful mix of silly ridiculousness and offensive awesomeness, and the art is still damn good. But it definitely feels like something's being held back. There could be a couple of reasons for this. Maybe there was less enthusiasm after the GOP lost the House in the midterms. Maybe the creators, Lim and Pellegrini, were worried about censorship from their publishers in Arctic Press after Jawbreaker's Lost Souls was canceled. For context, for those that don't know, Jawbreaker's Lost Souls was a comic by Richard C. Meyer, aka Ya Boy Zach, formerly known as Diversity in Comics, that had been slated to be published by Antarctic Press, but then was canceled after Antarctic Press was pressured by a big name in the comic books industry. A big name being Mark Waid, who's very well known, very influential, has pretty much worked on every major property Marvel and DC has done. Probably best known for his run on JLA. But he has some flex. I think he's currently at Marvel. Not quite sure what he's working on now, but he's got flex at both DC and Marvel. Jawbreakers came into existence after the comic pros and the comic press told your boy Zach to shut up about all the problems he has with the comics and make his own. So he said, well, you're telling me to make my own. I don't like your comics, so I'll do my own with blackjack and hookers. Not actually with blackjack and hookers, but he did a very good 90s style violent comic and raised some money on not Indiegogo, the other one, because he went to Indiegogo, but crowdfunded it, got the art done, got a publishing deal with Antarctic Press to put it in comic book stores, and then Antarctic Press received a phone call, controversy breaks out, it's canned. And Jawbreakers itself is pretty apolitical, but Zach is not, which is part of the reason why Antarctic Press dumped him after being there were some concerns about it, and then they get the phone calls like, oh, this guy's even worse than we thought, even though what they were being told was mostly BS, so they dropped him. The first My Hero Academia was first made when the deal was still on, so the Jawbreakers, the superhero team that the title of that book comes from, actually show up in the first My Hero Academia. Now they have to hold. Now it feels like they're holding stuff back because they don't want to tick Antarctic Press too much. I'm not saying that's the real reason, but that's what it feels like from reading it. And it makes sense that they hold it back. Obviously, they want the creators wanted to get this made. What does this mean? You get no bad hombre luchador titans being fought by Wall Might at the border in a ridiculous Attack on Titan parody. You don't get pod shots at DC Comics in the New 52. Everything's kind of scaled back. It's not as ridiculous as before, which is kind of disappointing. It's still an entertaining read. It's still a good political parody. And political parody, be it left, right, or center, has a place in our society. So I definitely recommend you read this. It should be coming out soon on Antarctic Press's store. I obviously have a copy now because I read the original, loved it, said, oh, they're doing a new thing. They're doing a new one. I'll bag it on Indiegogo. So definitely pick it up when it's available on Antarctic Press. Just also, if you can, pick up the original because it's better. If you're into ridiculousness. And overall, I give Wall Might First Term Part 2 a 3 out of 5. Okay, that's off. Hopefully I don't get banned or anything, or hopefully I don't get banned or anything for saying, oh, I like this right-wing comic. And once I grab something to drink, I'll be streaming Tales of Berseria with Winning the War and Pants in a couple of minutes. Alright, see you in a few minutes.